Hi, I'm Rich. I'm going to teach new systems.
And we're here today to talk to you about Marichyasana C. Marichyasana C is in the second half of the traditional primary series in Ashtanga, and it is a deep twist. Deep twists are great for August, this time of year. It's all about bringing out old energy and inviting new energy in as we close the season. So with deep twist, it's all about twisting the belly, compressing the abdomen, and then creating space, both to move things through the body as well as bringing new energy. And with all twist, most of the rotation comes from the belly, and what we're doing is we're twisting our mid to upper spine, so that way we're creating a little bit more flexibility and mobility in this part of the spine, which tends to be really tight. And for a lot of us who spend time in office chairs during the day or sit a lot, creating space here can be a very freeing experience and can create a lot of flexibility in the shoulders and the upper back. So we're going to break down the basics of the pose. So the first foundation is Dandasana, seated staff pose. So we're just going to take a seat. And for some folks, they'll sit on a blanket to just elevate the hips, especially for folks with tighter lower backs. This will be helpful, either one blanket or two blankets. And then work to extend the legs out. So we'll start with the left knee bending. Typically, twists start with the right side twisting first. This is just a tradition, but for the sake of this video, we're going to do it on this side. The space between the foot and the thigh should be about fist distance or hand distance, so there are a few inches between the inner edge of the foot and the thigh. And this thigh will rotate inwards just slightly. Part of the twist action is that his hips will stay rooted, so his sits bones are rooted down, his crown is lifting up. And then another part of twist or seated poses that are upright is almost like something's pulling him straight back a little bit here. So he has sort of a buoyancy through his whole back. And what's called the danda of the spine, or the staff of the spine, stays really long and elongated. So the first stage of twist is bringing the left hand behind you. This is just a support to kind of create space. And then bringing the right arm hugging around the left knee. Okay? So sitting tall, he'll work to use the breath. Inhale to extend and lengthen the back. And the exhales to rotate, spinning from the belly and spinning the heart towards the side of the room. So inhaling, elongating, working with the breath, and exhale, rotating. So the inhale is an inspiration, an upward lift through the rib cage, and the exhale is the spin. So you notice that very subtly, he's not forcing the pose. And this is important in all yoga and all asana, not to push or force yourself into the pose, but to let the breath inspire your movement there. So after a little bit, he might feel more comfortable moving to the deeper or the intermediate level. And this is bringing the elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Okay, palm can face down, fingertips reaching towards the center of the earth, or elbow bent, palm out, almost like you're about to give somebody a high five. So inhale, sitting up tall, lengthening from the seat to the crown, and then exhale, spinning. Okay, so this is the basic foundation. And for most of us, this is where we'll be. Energy out through the heel of the foot, seat rooted down, heart reaching up, crown reaching up. And the collarbones almost like they're growing away from the center line. The next stage of the pose we'll show you in two parts is working with the bind. So the bind is typically for folks who are a little bit more advanced, not good for anybody with shoulder injuries or shoulder issues. You'll start with the right hand and begin to internally rotate so that the thumb faces down, the pinky side of the hand faces out, and then rotate around so you can bend the elbow and reach around the front of the shin. Okay, so working, keep on rotating a little more and work around. There you go. So the energy here is to create sort of a spin through the arms so that way you can reach around the front of the shin. Okay, and we'll work with the other side. So go ahead and let's switch the pose around. So go ahead and switch legs. So for this version, he's going to come to this side now, moving into the twist over to the right side, bringing the elbow to the outside of the thigh, and then rotating from the shoulder, the palm down. So from here, you'll be able to bend the elbow, reach around, maybe reaching in the direction of the outer shin, and then maybe the right arm reaching behind, reaching in the direction of the other shin, or the other hand. So when we're working with the basic foundation, you can use a strap here, or like he's doing, wrap around the outer thigh, wrap around the back. There you go. And then work to inhale, elongate, and exhale, rotate. So part of the action with the shoulders dropping down, the heart lifting up, and working to spin from the rib cage. All right, and then release. Come on back. Anything to add?
It's important also to get some height. So for those with tight hamstrings, you can always fold the blanket or get another blanket and put on top. And this will help you also to do that sort of slight reach forward when you're trying to bind the arms together.
Yeah. And for our friends, our pregnant goddesses, this pose is definitely contraindicated. No twisting or no compression of the belly, especially after the first trimester. So the variation would just be twisting to the opposite side. And I think that's been our pose of the month, Marichyasana C, the pose of the sage Marichi.